If two people are truly meant to be together, there is one clear pattern that consistently appears. Many people grow up believing that destiny is effortless, imagining it as instant happiness, like a story where two individuals meet and everything naturally falls into place. They expect life to become easier, obstacles to disappear, and love to arrive without any resistance. However, real destiny never unfolds in such a simple way. True destiny begins with disruption, with change, and with challenges that feel almost impossible to face. The universe does not gently present love. Instead, it tests you first, breaking false beliefs, reshaping who you are, and requiring personal growth before a true union can form. This pattern always appears. Welcome to Never Give Up. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and enable all notifications, because every video here carries the potential to shift how you think and reshape your mindset. Destined love does not begin with comfort or ease. It starts with recognition and undeniable and often confusing awareness. The first sign that someone is meant for you is not immediate reassurance. It is a subtle, unsettling realization. When you meet them, something within you responds before your thoughts can explain it. It is a feeling of being fully seen, and it can feel deeply disturbing because destiny often challenges the foundation of your inner world. When you encounter someone meant to be part of your life, the experience is rarely calm at first. You may feel uncertain, and clarity may seem far away. Yet this discomfort is exactly what destiny looks like. It feels unsettling not because the person is wrong, but because they reflect parts of yourself that you have hidden, avoided, or ignored. These connections force you to face your fears, your doubts, and the patterns that have prevented true connection. Many people confuse love with stability and predictability. Destiny, however, often arrives like a powerful force that unsettles you, leaves you exposed, and reminds you that personal growth always comes before true union. One of the most confusing aspects of destined relationships is why they rarely remain together at the beginning. Life almost always creates distance between them, not out of cruelty, but out of necessity. This separation is intentional. It occurs because one or both individuals are still carrying emotional wounds that have not yet healed. One person may fear emotional openness. Another may struggle with self-value. At times, love is given from a place of fear rather than wholeness. Even with honest intentions, incomplete people can hurt one another. In these moments, the universe steps in with a clear message: not yet. It waits for growth, for self-understanding, and for emotional maturity to shape the hearts that will one day reunite. Destined love is patient, steady, and transformative. It requires you to face yourself completely without shortcuts or distractions. Every challenge, every emotional setback, and every moment of uncertainty is part of the preparation. The universe creates distance to reveal what you truly need. It teaches you how to love without conditions or dependence. When the timing is right, everything will align naturally. But this only happens after you have been shaped into someone capable of receiving and sustaining that love fully. This is the hidden nature of destiny. It forms, tests, and strengthens before it rewards, ensuring the connection is lasting and meaningful rather than temporary. It is important to understand this clearly. True destiny is never about instant satisfaction. It is not a moment of effortless comfort. It is a process, a journey involving awareness, disruption, separation, and personal realization. When someone unsettles you, when life creates distance between you, there is no need for fear. This is a sign that destiny is working behind the scenes, preparing you for a love that is worth waiting for, a love that transforms rather than simply soothes. Remain steady, stay open, and trust the process. When two souls are meant to be together, The universe will eventually guide them back to one another, stronger, wiser, and prepared for a love that lasts. Allowing it too early would only weaken what is meant to endure. The pain of separation is not an error, it is part of the design. When people who are destined for each other are pulled apart, the pain feels different from ordinary heartbreak. It is not only sadness or longing, it is a deep sense of disorientation. You do not simply miss them. It feels as though a part of you is absent. This happens because destined connections are not centered on comfort or ego. They are tied to your growth, your inner development, and the aspects of yourself you have not yet faced. Losing them compels you to confront your fears, insecurities, unresolved wounds, and the patterns that have prevented you from feeling complete. The pain reaches every part of who you are. It forces you to face your fear of abandonment, your ongoing need for approval, and the ways you may have given too much of yourself in exchange for love or attention. It reveals where you avoided emotional responsibility and where you offered more than you should have without healthy boundaries. This is not a punishment. It is a call to awareness. The universe uses this discomfort to awaken you, to guide you towards self-understanding, and to make you face the behaviors that kept you from forming deeper connections. Destined love is not soft or easy. It brings change. Even when it communicates through silence, even when its meaning is not yet clear. Here is what feels unexpected. Even after separation, even without communication, and even when logic tells you to move forward, something within you begins to shift. You change, often without noticing at first. You mature. You become more conscious, more discerning, and more emotionally honest. What you once accepted no longer feels right, and the people you once pursued lose their attraction. Your desires move away from surface-level attention toward depth, meaning, and truth, and rarely do you link this internal growth directly to them. Yet it begins the moment they enter your life. Destined connections do not create fixation. They create awareness, reflection, and personal development. Destined love leaves its imprint in the quiet moments of your life. You think of them not out of loneliness or need, but because your inner self recognizes unresolved lessons and growth that only this connection could initiate. You become aware of them during moments of self-examination, emotional clarity, and during still nights when everything feels calm. This is not dependency. This is integration. The subtle and profound way their influence weaves into your personal growth unfolds quietly over time. You begin to learn things you never realized you needed to understand. Gradually, and without deliberate effort, your life starts shifting in ways that prepare you for a deeper level of love and connection. Yet no one can truly replace a connection that is meant to be. People try, they date others, keep themselves busy, and convince themselves they have moved on. But something always feels incomplete. Not because the new person lacks value, but because they do not activate the same inner development. Destined love functions on an entirely different level. It is not centered on attraction or convenience. It is about growth, about guiding both individuals toward completeness, about awakening lessons that ordinary relationships cannot access. It cannot be rushed, duplicated, or substituted because its purpose goes far beyond simple companionship. Its role is to challenge, teach, and reshape both people involved. While distance exists, destiny continues its work quietly yet effectively on each individual. One learns how to set boundaries, while the other learns responsibility. One develops self-respect, while the other gains emotional bravery. One learns to stop pursuing what cannot be forced. The other learns to stop avoiding what must be confronted. Neither person can see the entire picture yet, and that is intentional. The universe withholds the full understanding until each soul has matured enough to carry the love that awaits them. This process is careful, intentional, and essential. It ensures that when these two paths meet again, the bond is no longer temporary. It becomes a stable, transformative connection built on the strength of two evolved individuals. Before destined partners can reunite, illusions must be removed. Every false belief about love is dismantled first. Ideas such as love should always be easy, or that if someone truly cared they would never leave, must be undone. Beliefs like needing to earn love or relying on another person to feel whole only weaken the chance of a genuine bond. Destiny breaks down these misconceptions deliberately and truthfully, even when it is painful. Every tear, every moment of longing, every heaviness felt within is part of the refinement. This removal is necessary because true love is not rooted in fear or dependency. It is formed through awareness, conscious choice, and personal growth. Destined love is not about depending on someone for survival. It is about choosing another person freely when you are already complete within yourself. This shift happens quietly. At a certain point, you stop needing them and you stop pursuing love out of fear or a sense of lack. That is when destiny begins to move again, when both individuals can stand fully on their own, when love becomes a conscious choice instead of a tool for emotional survival, alignment begins. Love in this form is no longer frantic, desperate, or rooted in dependence. It becomes a steady, intentional force that naturally draws the right people together. This is the stage where the universe allows the paths of two souls to cross again, now prepared for a genuine and balanced union. When destined individuals reconnect, the experience feels very different from before. There is less anxiety, less fear, and less ego involved. The bond feels calmer, deeper, and more transparent, not flawless but aware. The game's emotional manipulation and uncertainty that once shaped the connection no longer exist. What remains is a recognition that is stronger and clearer than it ever was. And even if they do not return, the connection was still meaningful. Not all destined relationships are meant to last forever. Some exist to break inherited patterns, awaken self-worth, build emotional strength, or redirect the course of your life. Their purpose is not permanence, but growth and transformation. Destiny often feels harsh before it feels gentle because it values potential over comfort. It may break your heart before it allows you to lose your sense of self. It removes people from your life before attachment can erase your identity. These lessons can feel painful in the moment, but with time, clarity always follows. One truth remains constant. When two people are truly meant for one another, they are required to grow separately. Illusions are removed, inner struggles are faced, and hearts are reshaped into healthier, stronger versions of themselves. Only after this process does destiny allow either reunion or redirection. Either outcome brings change, and no one remains the same. If you are reading this while thinking of someone, allow these words to settle within you. If it is meant to return, it will come back with calm and certainty, not with anxiety or fear. If something is truly meant for you, it will never require you to betray who you are. It will only ask you to grow. And if it does not return, that too becomes a gift, a direction toward the person you were always meant to become. Every separation, every moment of confusion, and every painful lesson is a meaningful part of the journey. Destiny does not waste experiences. It prepares, shapes, and elevates you, making sure that when love does arrive or when it changes direction, you are fully prepared to receive it with an open and evolved heart. Destined connections are among life's deepest mysteries, and they rarely follow the path we imagine. When two people are truly meant to cross paths in a lasting way, the universe does not rush them into comfort or certainty. Instead, it tests them, creates distance, and brings them face to face with parts of themselves they may have ignored for years. The pain of separation is not a punishment. It is part of the structure. It pushes both individuals to face their fears, insecurities, and unresolved wounds. Through this process, emotional responsibility is learned. Self-respect develops. The courage to love fully, without dependence, begins to form. Every tear, every sense of longing, and every moment of uncertainty plays a role in this unseen process of growth. Even in silence, even without communication, change is taking place. You become more discerning, more aware, and more honest with yourself. The lessons gained during these phases are not centered on the other person. They are about you. Destined love is not built on instant happiness or convenience. It is about evolution, about shaping two complete individuals who are capable of maintaining a deep, conscious, and authentic connection. When destiny allows reconnection, it no longer feels unstable, insecure, or driven by ego. Instead, the bond becomes calmer, clearer, and more intentional. And even if reunion never occurs, the influence remains significant. Both individuals are guided towards self-awareness and emotional maturity. Every separation, every heartbreak, and every lesson serves a purpose. They prepare you to recognize and receive the highest form of love that aligns with who you have become. True destiny never wastes an experience. It ensures that every challenge contributes to your inner strength and prepares you for the love that is meant for you. Destined love cannot be rushed, forced, or artificially created. It unfolds in its own time, guided by growth and truth. It arrives quietly, often in ways that feel uncomfortable at first, because it is not about instant satisfaction. It is about change and inner growth. The people who are meant to affect your life in a deep way will challenge you, interrupt familiar patterns, and expose parts of yourself you may have kept hidden even from your own awareness. You may not feel prepared for them initially, and the universe may create separation, placing distance between you that feels overwhelming, yet that distance serves a purpose. It teaches patience, independence, and emotional truth. You begin to recognize the ways you were searching for love outside of yourself. Gradually, you start to build a sense of wholeness from within. Every moment of yearning, every restless night, and every thought about what could have been is shaping you into someone able to receive love in its highest expression. True destined connections do not create fixation. They create understanding. They encourage you to reflect on your values, your limits, and your ability to be emotionally open. You begin to desire depth rather than distraction, meaning rather than temporary attention. Even if the other person never returns, the growth they initiated remains, influencing how you relate to yourself and the world for the rest of your life. In this way, destiny can feel both gentle and demanding. It removes comfort so clarity can emerge. It dissolves illusion so truth becomes visible and challenges the heart so it may become complete. When destined individuals do reunite, the connection feels noticeably different. There is no anxious pursuit, no confusion, no uncertainty. Instead, there is calm and conscious love grounded in shared growth. The anxiety that once defined the bond is replaced by understanding and awareness. Each person has been reshaped through separation and challenge, now able to offer honesty and presence without fear. This is the kind of love destiny prepares you for, not a temporary romance, but a relationship that supports and uplifts both individuals. And if reunion never happens, that too is destiny completing its role. Some connections exist to break old habits, awaken self-worth, and teach emotional depth. They are meaningful not because they last forever, but because they guide you toward the person you were always meant to become. The impact is lasting, woven into your growth, your decisions, and your inner values. Destined love is never about dependency or completing one another. It is about freely choosing each other from a place of inner wholeness. It teaches you to stop avoiding discomfort and to stop seeking validation outside yourself. It demands self-reflection and emotional strength, requiring both individuals to face their hidden sides and evolve. Pain is not a form of punishment, but a tool, a catalyst for meaningful transformation. Through this process, you learn what genuine love truly requires: patience, awareness, and the willingness to continue growing, even when the journey feels isolating or unclear. Every separation, every obstacle, and every challenge serves as a step toward alignment. Destiny reshapes you not for immediate comfort, but for a form of love that endures because it is grounded in clarity, growth, and conscious choice. Destined connections function on a level that many people rarely recognize. They are not centered on ease, comfort, or instant happiness. Instead, they exist to awaken parts of yourself that have long remained hidden or inactive. When you encounter someone truly meant for you, it feels as though a mirror has been placed before your inner self. The aspects of your identity that you once ignored, denied, or suppressed are reflected back with striking clarity. This experience can feel unsettling because it forces you to face truths you may have avoided for years. You start recognizing patterns in your behavior, long-held fears, and the ways you may have limited your ability to love fully. The pain of separation within these connections differs from ordinary heartbreak. It cuts deeper not because the other person is harmful, but because they are activating your growth. They reveal where healing is required, the boundaries you must define, and the self-respect you need to claim. Every sense of longing, every ache, and every memory becomes part of your evolution, guiding you toward the person you are meant to become. During periods of distance, life teaches patience, resilience, and awareness. You begin to observe yourself without distraction, gaining clarity about your needs and desires without projecting them onto others. What once felt acceptable may now feel misaligned with your truth. People you once pursued no longer hold your interest, and attention without meaning loses its appeal. Your heart begins to seek authenticity, presence, and emotional truth. Even if you do not consciously link this growth to the other person, the change is already underway. The impact of a destined connection works quietly yet powerfully, shaping how you see things, how you process emotions, and how you understand love. This is why destiny does not rush reconnection. It does not allow the bond to resume until both individuals are prepared to engage fully, with awareness and without fear. Only then does the universe permit alignment, reunion, or the beginning of a new path that continues the process of growth. Destiny is exact and patient. It first removes false beliefs, breaking down ideas that distort love. Beliefs such as love should never involve pain. I must earn someone's affection, or I need another person to feel whole, are dismantled step by step. Facing these illusions can be uncomfortable, but they are necessary. True connection can only thrive when both people choose each other from a place of completeness rather than need. Love at its highest level is not about survival, it is about conscious choice. When this balance is reached, the universe allows paths to cross again, this time with clarity, emotional maturity, and shared growth. And even if reunion does not happen, the purpose has still been fulfilled. Every lesson, every moment of loss, and every reflection served as preparation, guiding each person toward their highest development. Destined love reshapes how you approach relationships, life, and yourself. It teaches emotional accountability, inner strength, and the importance of being genuine. It pushes you to face fears instead of avoiding them, and to stop searching for validation outside yourself. It removes dependency and surface-level desire, making room for intentional and aware love. When reunion happens, it feels steady, grounded, and honest. When it does not, the connection still influences your direction, guiding you toward growth, self-understanding, and the life you were meant to build. Every moment of uncertainty, every tear and every longing has meaning. Destiny ensures that no connection is wasted. It may feel harsh before it feels gentle, but its effects are deep, lasting, and transformative. Destined connections differ from ordinary relationships because they are not shaped by convenience, comfort, or immediacy. They exist on a deeper level, reaching the core of who you are and challenging you to evolve. From the moment these connections enter your life, they act as catalysts for self-discovery, pushing you to face aspects of yourself that you have long avoided. This process is never simple. The universe separates you from them repeatedly, not as a form of punishment but as preparation. The sense of absence you experience is not merely missing another person. It is the awareness that something within you remains unfinished, unsettled, or unhealed. This is why the pain of separation feels unlike ordinary heartbreak. It unsettles you, disrupts your balance, and demands a level of self-reflection that typical relationships rarely require. During these periods of distance, transformation begins quietly. Your understanding of love, attachment, and personal boundaries starts to shift. Behaviors and traits you once accepted or ignored suddenly feel misaligned with who you are becoming. You stop pursuing people who cannot meet you at this evolved level. Instead, you begin to seek authenticity, depth, and emotional honesty rather than surface-level approval. Even moments of solitude, quiet evenings, or reflective thoughts become opportunities to absorb the lessons of the connection. This growth may not be visible to others, but it is deep and lasting. It gradually reshapes your heart, your mindset, and your emotional foundation, ensuring that if reunion occurs, you are able to engage with awareness and integrity. Destined love is not built on dependency, it is sustained through conscious choice. True connection emerges only when both individuals feel complete within themselves. Love becomes a desire rather than a necessity. The ego steps back, allowing the deeper self to choose freely. In this process, illusions are removed. Beliefs such as needing to earn someone's love or believing you are incomplete without them distort the nature of real connection. These lessons are uncomfortable and often painful, yet they are necessary. They develop emotional courage, self-respect, and the ability to love without fear or unhealthy attachment. This is why destined love can feel harsh before it feels supportive. It values your growth more than your comfort. It challenges you before allowing expansion, ensuring that you are prepared to love with awareness, depth, and honesty. When this destined connection eventually returns, its presence is clear and undeniable. There is no manipulation, no insecurity, and no desperate pursuit. The bond feels steady, balanced, and intentional. Both individuals have been reshaped emotionally and internally into versions of themselves capable of giving and receiving love fully, and even if reunion never takes place, the purpose of the connection remains meaningful. It has fulfilled its higher role to initiate growth, awaken self-worth, dissolve inherited patterns, and redirect the course of your life.